Here's the deal. I'm retired Army. What does that mean? That means I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to sit here and play games with you. I'm not going to do a long intro. We're going to start training. We're going to make some money. How about that? Good enough? All right. So here's the deal. I have made a lot of mistakes along with making a lot of money. That's how you make a lot of money, is by making a lot of mistakes. If you're afraid to fail forward, you're not going to make it. Let's just be honest. You're going to be all conservative. You're going to be shy. Oh, I don't know. No. I had a great system. I was in the Army for 21 years. And a lot of the things I learned about money, a lot of the things I learned about doing things, I had a system that was supporting me. I was getting a check every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, I was getting a check. So I could take risks that other people couldn't take. While I was doing that, though, I was smart enough to get an education. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not extremely smart. I'm just extremely educated. I have a PhD. So what does that mean? It means I'm dumb enough to know what I need to learn. You got me? Sometimes we get to that point where we're so high in our learning that we can't learn anything. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. So I wrote a book called Ice Cream. Ice Cream? Yeah, Ice Cream. Lessons business leaders usually learn the hard way. Okay? Because I made a lot of mistakes. Ice Cream is an acronym. If you need to download a copy of this, because obviously I couldn't bring 2,000 copies, just go to icecreamlessons.com. You can do it on your phone, your computer, whatever. Go to icecreamlessons.com if you want to see this. Ice cream, there are 8 key areas that I feel like if I can just learn these 8 key areas and control them and understand them, I can do something with it. So, ICECREAM. I stands for income and money. C stands for covering your weaknesses. E stands for ego, emotion, and expectations. The next C stands for communication, relationships, education, asking questions, and mentorship. Don't let your ice cream get messy. A lot of us can't grow because our ice cream's too messy. It's dripping all over us. No, we're going to talk about that. Now, again, what did I tell you up front? I'm very educated, but not very smart. That means I can't retain shit. Okay? So that means for me, I had to put it in short, simple things that I could remember and that I could get other people to remember. So throughout the next 17, 18 minutes, I'm going to go over these key little bullet points that I use whenever I'm going into a business. Understand what I do. I am an investor. I don't build businesses, I buy businesses, okay? I don't build agencies, I buy agencies. So for me, I needed to know what I was buying. I needed to be able to value it. So I need to be able to say these key little points and make them work for me. So let's go over each one. First one is I, income and money. Income and money. So what's our first key thought about income and money? All successful people say the same things. They just say it in different ways. So throughout this 2 or 3 days you're going to be here, you're going to hear Daddy Askins say it one way, and you're going to hear Baby Askins say it another way. And you're going to hear Mama Askins say it a different way. But they're saying the same things because all successful people say the same thing. But guess what? All non-successful people say the same thing also. I can't do it. I couldn't make it work. I don't know how you did it because I tried and tried and tried, and I laid in bed and thought about it and prayed about it. It just never worked. So, what are you saying to yourself? When I go into an agency, I'm like, okay, here's some things you need to know, Mr. and Mrs. Agent. I want to invest in you, but when I look at your portfolio, when I look at your money, guess what? You owe the IRS too much money. You have to remember, taxes and insurance are always your first 2 partners in a business. They're always your first 2 partners. And if you're not prepared to share a little bit of every dollar you make, they're going to come after you eventually. Okay? A lot of businesses have shut down because they didn't share. There are 5 reasons you should be in business. 5 reasons. That's it. 5 reasons. I call them the 5 P's. First P, passion. Your business should either be your passion or fund your passion. You ain't got to love what you do if what you're doing is great enough to fund the things that you love. Next P, product. If you don't have a product that can feed enough people to make the money you want to make, guess what? You're going to be broke. What's the next P? Profit. If you're not running your business profitably, it's not going to work for you. What's the next P? Philanthropy. Why do we want to be profitable? Because we're supposed to be giving to our community, giving to our church, giving to our needs, giving to our schools, giving to all these other things. We can't give if we're broke as hell. Okay? So you need to be philanthropic, but in order to be philanthropic, you better be profitable. Next, a personification of your values. I should be able to see your God in you. I should be able to see your God in your business, in your walk, in your talk, in how you do things. I can see Cody's God in Cody. We all can. That's why we're here. So if you are not personifying your values, if you're saying one thing and then doing something else, don't get mad because your business isn't growing. All right? Let's move on. If you want to make money in your sleep, everybody does. I know I do. I do. Not that I want to. Hell, I do make money in my sleep. I'm out playing golf. I made $3,000 during the golf tournament. I'm not bragging. That's just the business that I've set up. You want to make money in your sleep? Create something once that explains your value and it promotes you, and then you market it 20 different ways. Cody just broke it down for you. They sat down and wrote out their whiteboard and said, what do we do here? They didn't say, let's come up with 28%. They said, let's come up with 8% and market it 20 different ways. And a lot of you are not growing because you're not marketing enough. You're finding one thing. Well, you got any referral partners? Well, I got this one guy who sends me a lead every now and then. Come on, guys. You got videos, podcasts, ebooks. Cody built his legacy through YouTube. Am I lying? That's your baby, right? I'm LinkedIn. That's my baby. So, multiple ways. In your life, you're going to have 3 primary categories of people: money makers, money savers, and money takers. Okay? Money makers, money savers, and money takers. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to choose who you spend the most time with. And when you do, realize this saying: your net worth is a direct reflection of your network. A lot of you saying, who is this guy? I've never heard of him. You know why? Because you weren't in the network to hear of me. You had to come here to hear people like me, to hear the speakers you heard yesterday, to be next to Tim Tebow. You can't sit in your office and do that. You can't have a YouTube experience. You got to get off your butt and go to your network. Your net worth is a direct reflection of your network. See, most people make enough money to get into trouble, but they don't save enough to get out of trouble when things go bad. It's biblical. You're supposed to save. You're supposed to pay your tithes. So a lot of people are so busy living on 100% of their money that they have no money to live on. You have no savings. You have nothing. Guys, these are basic things. See, my job is not to come up and say all the wonderful things that the speakers are saying. Wealthy people make complicated things simple, right? Poor people make simple things unnecessarily complicated. So make sure that you're listening to what we're talking about here. Never make a financial decision while your libido is high, especially if the person that will benefit most from the decision is the reason your libido is high. For those of you that don't know what a libido is, Google it. I can't tell you how many businesses I've gone into to try to invest, and there's a pool boy bimbo account on the side somewhere. Okay, there's a strip club account on the side somewhere. There's a I got 2 girlfriends I'm paying for their apartments on the side somewhere. Can't run a business that way. This is a very important saying. I know it's funny, but a lot of us are making really bad decisions because of it. If you don't schedule the time to create wealth, then most of your time will be spent fighting off poverty. Guys, I can look at your calendar and tell how much money you're going to make this week. Do you know that? I can pull up your Google calendar, your Outlook calendar, whatever, and tell you if you're going to make any money. If it's empty, you're like, dude, can I get 20? Can I get 25? Can you just spot me for the week until, because your calendar is going to tell you. So think about your own calendar. If you don't have money-making time and money-making activities on your calendar, not on some to-do list somewhere, not on a notepad sitting on your desk, but on your calendar, blocked off, an appointment. See, a lot of people don't make an appointment to make any money. But you want to run appointments, right? You know if you want to get a sale, you got to run an appointment, whether it's over the phone or whether it's in person. But we don't run appointments enough to make the money we want. So like I said, if you don't schedule the time to create wealth, all your time is spent fighting off poverty. Because 20% of the activities produce 80% of your income. That has never changed. It's never changed. The person that masters their money has no master. But the person who mismanages their money and creates financial problems, you have nothing but masters. Credit card masters, car loan masters, rent masters. I would say mortgage, but if you're that bad, you ain't got a mortgage. So the first thing I'll tell you guys that are broke, because I know it's like, I'm already in this mess. How do I get out of it? Well, first thing you need to do is you need to utilize free and low-cost technology, tools, and resources until you make enough money to afford the good stuff. When I was in college, I ate a lot of ramen noodles. I ate a lot of macaroni and cheese. Today I eat filet mignon. Okay? But I had to get there. And I got there by not being stupid when I was young with my money. Does that make sense? All right. Reality check. If you can't afford to pay for it twice, you really can't afford it. And I don't care if that's your car payment. I don't care if that's your house note. I don't care what it is. If you really can't afford to pay for it twice, if you're living on the edge of that dollar, you really can't afford it. That's because you didn't save. Does that make sense? All right. Guys, is what I'm saying making real sense to you here? All right. Let's talk about covering your weaknesses. Remember, ICECREAM. Cover your weaknesses. Lack of discipline is the most expensive item you will ever own in your entire life. Did you guys know that? Bad habits are the second most expensive things you will ever own. Well, how do you get bad habits? Because you have no discipline. They go hand in hand. Does that make sense? I'm going to skip this one. Let's go to this one. It takes 4 types of discipline for us to do what we need to do to make our business successful, make our life successful. Self-discipline, accountability, automation and technology, delegation, and outsourcing. We need to practice these 4 types of discipline every day. Remember, guys, if you need a copy of this, go to icecreamlessons.com. It's free. It's free, okay? Self-discipline will always fail you. Please remember that. It will always fail you. Why? Because it's tied to your emotion. So you may think, oh man, I'm getting up today and I'm going to run 5 miles and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then you get up and you step in a pile of dog poop and you go, well, that's the end of that run. So you don't rely on self-discipline. You use it, but you don't rely on it. You rely on accountability. What's accountability? It's communication and transparency. That's what accountability is. It's communication and transparency. Somebody else knows where your screw up is. Somebody else knows what you're supposed to be doing. Automation and technology. Guys, if you're still trying to run your business off a spreadsheet and a file cabinet, that's a problem. And then delegation, outsourcing. If you won't do it, you won't make someone else do it, you won't hold someone accountable for doing it, then give it to someone else to do. Do you know how many times I'll walk in a business and I'll say, hey, I told you 3 weeks ago we need this. Oh, man, I'm trying to learn it and figure it out. And dude, I got this saying, if it takes me longer than 15 minutes to figure it out, I'm calling the help desk. Because I'm not spending 3 hours trying to figure something out when there's someone who can explain it to me in 5 minutes. Does that make sense? All right. A business process, which you always talk about our processes. It's just a fancy way of saying business habits. That's all it is. A process is nothing but business habits. And it's the habits that we create that allow us to excel personally, professionally. And how do we get those habits? By managing the 4 types of discipline: self-discipline, accountability, automation, technology, and outsourcing. If I have the habit of handing stuff off that I am not good at, then I'm going to get those things done and my business is going to grow. Does that make sense? All right. When the devil can't make you do bad things, it makes you believe you're too busy to do good things. How many times you said, oh, I want to go do that, but man, I just don't have the time. I want it, but I just don't have the time. I wanted to, but... Does that make sense? Ego, emotion, expectation. Some of these I'm going to skip past because I only got like 3 minutes left. Ego is what we do. Emotion is how we feel about something. And anything you put emotion in front of is magnified. So if you put emotion in front of something bad, it's going to seem worse than what it really is. If you put it in front of something good, it's going to seem better than what it really is. And then there's expectation. This is one of the biggies for us that really fools us. There should always be a historical reason for an expectation. I'll go into an agency and I'll say, hey, why isn't this done? Oh, Judy was supposed to do that. Man, I expected her to get that knocked out. Well, has Judy ever done it before? No, but I told her to do it. There's no damn history there. I don't even hear a history of training, a history of accountability, a history of spot checking, but yet you have an expectation. No. If there's no history, then all you're doing is hoping and wishing. Get your expectations right. Emotion fills the space between thought and action. You know why a lot of you don't move? Because you're too damn emotional. And emotion fills that space. Oh, I'm thinking about doing this, but yeah, in fact, I don't know. So by the time you even think about getting over there, you shut down. Because emotion fills that space between thought and action. That's why when you think about it, you do it. You think about it, you do it. That's what I love about Cody. He thinks about it, he does it. He'll figure it out later. He'll figure it out while we're moving. That's what you got to do sometimes, guys. If you have a problem controlling your ego, your emotion, your arrogance, you need more accountability. You need more technology, and you need more outsourcing to protect you from you, because you're the reason you're not successful. Does that make sense? All right. People don't disappoint you. Your expectations of people is what disappoints you. So make sure you have a reason for the expectation. See, guys, like I said, all this stuff that you're hearing all the other speakers saying it, I'm just dumb enough to break it down into nuggets that we can chew on. All right? Communication. Professional vocabulary is the one thing you cannot hide or cover up. If you're sitting out here trying to sell a product that you don't know anything about, if you're sitting out here trying to have conversations with people who actually know what the hell they're talking about, it will show that you have no clue what you're talking about. Let's skip that one. Let's go to relationships. Your relationship with technology will determine the speed that your business moves. And a lot of you are way behind in that relationship. You've been cheating on technology for so long. Don't do it. Don't do it. Know the difference between a good relationship and a successful relationship. I have 170 plus partners. I don't like all of them, but all of them make me money because I'm more concerned with a successful relationship than I am a good relationship. You have a business referral partner who's not sending you business, but you go to lunch every week. That's a good relationship, but it's not a successful relationship. And a lot of you are focusing on the wrong relationship. There are 4 types of business relationships: money makers, energy makers, business referral partners, and key influencers. Get to know those guys and gals. Education. Education's like money. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So if you don't have time blocked off for you to learn, you don't have time blocked off to come to an event like this, you don't have time blocked off to role play, to study, don't get mad when you need it and you don't have it. I'm going to skip that part. Let's go back to this one. Because of the information overload of the world we live in, most people don't have the time or desire to go out and do the work to find what they really need. So they want experts. And people are willing to pay experts. If you're one of those people, you say, well, what do you think you should do? That's like me going to a doctor, go, doctor, I got this big ass bump on my neck. And the doctor goes, well, what do you think we should do? I think I should leave. And that's exactly what your customers are telling you. When you walk through the door, go, I've got these 3 plans. Which one do you think you like? No, I've got plan A, plan B, plan C. I recommend plan A, but I brought plan B and plan C so we could have talking points about it. They're not coming for consultation. They're coming because they expect you to be the expert. Asking questions. Guys, this is a really simple one. I taught my kids this when they were 3 and 4 years old, and they still use it. The other day, my daughter, who's getting ready to go off to college, she just graduated from high school. She's got a full scholarship. She was getting ready to go off to college. I had to throw that in there because, it's my baby. And she was talking to one of her friends, and she asked, it was her new roommate. That's who it was. She was talking to her new roommate. And so my daughter was asking all these questions. Hey, did you get this? What about this? When is this? What do you do for this? When are the lights going to be? Where are we going to? And the girl was like, how'd you ask a lot of questions? She said, I just asked the questions my daddy taught me. Who, what, when, why, where, how, and why. If I can't ask that, then I don't know. But when you ask those simple, basic umbrella questions, you know 90% of the answer. That's basic stuff. Get back to it, guys. Get back to it. Let's talk about mentors. Thank you, Cody, for letting me go over a little bit. What is a mentor? A mentor is a person that's willing to share their experience and wisdom with you and that has achieved a level of success in an area that you want to achieve that same or higher level of success. A person can't truly mentor you if they've never actually been there. Okay? Now, a lot of people say, well, Billy, you're a speaker. I'm not a speaker. I'm an investor. Or a lot of people say, well, you're a consultant. I'm not a consultant. Consultants work with people who do what I do. That's what they do. I actually do this shit. And I'm not knocking consultants. I'm simply saying understand the difference between a mentor and a consultant, right? All right, so we're going to end on this. What should a mentor, because everybody in this room needs a mentor. What should a mentor do for you? They need to pass on wisdom. They need to help show you an easier, more effective way to do things. They need to help you identify your strengths and weaknesses. They need to help you identify resources. They need to help you mature personally and professionally. They need to introduce you to people, resources, tools, and situations that will help you reach your stated goals. Damn, Cody, you sure sound like a mentor. You see what I'm saying? You sure sound, don't you agree, guys? The whole Askins clan sounds like a mentor. So I'm gonna leave you with this thought. You can come to something like this and go, man, I had a good time. Man, I had a fun time. It was awesome. Or you can come to this and say, let me look at all the stuff I wrote down. Let me take 1 or 2 things and let me go back and do something. Okay? Don't just take a bunch of notes and then have your notes and look at all the notes. And I hate when people do that. Oh, God, look at all the notes I took from your speech. I'm like, well, what are you going to go back and do? I don't know. There's so many notes. Well, then get rid of all the damn notes and pick 1 or 2 things and go back and do it. That's it for me, guys. Appreciate you.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
When I first joined and decided to kind of jump in, it was kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I remember being out in the field. I went to my first home, my second home, my third home, and it was by the end of that